If you're discouraged with the progress that you're making while you're practicing, while you're in music school, I can relate to you because I had the exact same feeling when I was in college. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul Gavin, and I've been making my entire living as a freelance musician for 3 years, 0 months, and 7 days. And it's my mission to show you that you can do the exact same thing. Let's talk a little bit about staying positive in music school. Just to give you a little bit of context on me, I went to school at the University of South Florida in Tampa, Florida. I did 2 years of classical percussion, 1 year of music education, and 2 years of jazz studies. I like to think that I got everything that the music school at USF has to offer. While I was pursuing the classical degree in those first couple years of school, I did really well with playing musically on the marimba, but I learned the music painfully slowly. Meanwhile, there were a couple people in the studio that it seemed like they could just sight read really complex marimba music like a pro. Marimba playing had a really heavy emphasis in our studio, and I spent a lot of time trying to get better at it. And it just became discouraging seeing how little progress I was making in that area, while meanwhile it seemed like everyone else in the studio was just doing so much better with reading that music so quickly. There were a couple problems in my outlook that I had to overcome. I want to share with you what those problems were and what I realized during that first year of school at USF, and hopefully it'll be something that's helpful for you. Don't compare yourself. I was comparing myself to people who had been sight reading marimba music for years. It just didn't make any sense. See, the skills, no matter what instrument that you play, that we're trying to develop, they take time and they take practice. And all of us come from different backgrounds. So it doesn't make a lot of sense in music school for us to be comparing ourselves to each other. But there's another reason that's a lot bigger than the different backgrounds that we're from. See, when you think about it, you'll probably realize your peers aren't good enough for comparison anyway. What does he mean by that? Should you really be aspiring to Joe over there in the practice room? The guy that's at the same school as you, taking lessons from the same teacher as you, in the same classes as you, he's in the same year as you? You comparing yourself to Joe? You should be comparing yourself to Larnell Lewis and Nate Smith, or Art Blakey and Philly Joe Jones. Compare yourself to them. Compare yourself to Antonio Sanchez. Have you heard of Gavin Harrison? Compare yourself to him. See, they're the real goal. That's where we should be getting our inspiration from. There is one other person I think you should be comparing yourself to, and that's the you of a year ago. How's your growth been? Are you moving at a high velocity towards your goals? If you're moving at a high speed toward Antonio Sanchez and Nate Smith, then you're practicing the right things, you're doing the right things. Keep going and don't you dare get discouraged. I think the way to go here is to evaluate how you're traveling towards your goal as opposed to looking at the runners next to you. My other problem was I just lacked patience. See, my problem is I was thinking short term about everything. Trajectory is what I should have been thinking about. Trajectory is everything. Pay attention to your method. How are you traveling from the you of a year ago towards Nate Smith? Are you headed in that direction? If you're headed in that direction, then keep doing what you're doing and be patient. Keep moving towards your goal. Once I realized my perspective was all wrong, I came up with a phrase that I started to use to remind myself to be patient and focus on my goals. I'd tell myself to be okay with today. Be okay with today. I think it's a good one. I hope that you'll be able to use it to remain positive. I knew as long as I was putting forth the very best effort I could to get closer to my goals, then I just needed to be okay with today and keep doing my work. I hope that's helpful because I know that this is tough. I remember music school, I remember the pressure, I remember the competition, I remember all that, so I relate to you. I just want to encourage you to remain positive and be okay with today. If you found any value in this video, it would be a big help to me if you would click that thumbs up. That thumbs up helps me reach more people, and I want to help more people remain positive in music school. So if you'll help me with that, I will be able to help them. Are you in school now? If you are, then tell me what it's like right now. Are you feeling that kind of pressure? Are you feeling that competition? Let me know in a comment. Are you out of school? If you're out of school, leave some advice down here for some other people so they know what they can do to remain positive. I'm trying to create a community here where we can all encourage each other. If we're meeting for the first time, I want you to know on this channel that I do vlogs that give you kind of an idea of what it's like to be a freelance musician. I also do drum cams, videos of me on the gig, and additionally I do educator resources to help people who are either private teachers of drummers or band directors and give them an idea of the things that they can do to better teach their drummers. Hey, I think there's a lot of negativity out there in the music world. What I want me and you to do is lock arms, lift each other up, and rise together. I will see you in the next video.